Hi folks, thanks for joining me again. This week's river tutorial pattern has been unashamedly stolen from Terry Bromwell. He posted a picture on Facebook and it was a fly. He says it's the only thing you'll ever need for the start of the season. So I immediately stole it, tied up a load, and I thought I'd share it with you on my channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in the vise is a Hanak 333 barbless hook. It's Czech nymph, it's a fine wire hook and it's in black nickel. The thread I'm going to be using today is the Semperfly. It's in black. This is the nano silk and it's at 18.0. Now before I do anything else, a tiny dot of super glue on the shank just helps to secure the silks in place. With other threads I use wax, but with this I like to use the silks. Now I've got my rat's tail here. I'm not going to snip that off. Now if you tie a lot, you might be in the habit of snipping this away, but you definitely need it, so don't snip that away. I'm going to come back about a millimetre or so back from the eye of the hook, and the first thing I'm going to do is catch in my CDC wing. So I'm using the Ultra Select from Troutline, and this is natural grey. I've already taken four plumes for this fly, and I've married up my tips like so, although they are pretty married up to be fair when they come out the packet. But just make sure you get that all together, and then you want to dress that up to the hook, and you want it to come on this size of fly about a centimetre past the eye of the hook. A couple of turns to hold it into place, and then once you're happy it's secure, you can lock that in. Make sure you've got your rat's tail out the way. Come in with your snips, cut away at an angle, and then take your rat's tail up and then bring it all down. Now don't be overly worried about hiding all the raggedy ends of the CDC, because we're going to put a little bit of dubbing on the body here and it won't make any difference. So I'm going to come right down the shank there, and I've still got my rat's tail. When I first started copying this pattern, actually I don't know how many times I cut this away just out of habit, and had to start again from scratch. Okay, next I'm going to just adjust the hook in the vise a little, and I'm going to add my tailing feathers. And what I'm using is a little bit of Coq de Leon here, and I'm going to take about a half a dozen fibres off the stalk, and I'm going to catch that just in at the end here, like so. You can remove your waste that you don't need, and then I'm going to come back, not to the end of the fly, but to about 1/8 of an inch from where the tail's coming out the back of the fly. So next I'm going to put my shell back in. I'm using some of the Gunville foam, Uphaven fly fishing foam, and all I've done is I've taken a scalpel blade and I've cut myself a little strip off here. Scalpel blade and a ruler, and got it to the diameter I want. Now this is about 4 to 5 millimeters, and before I do anything else I'm going to cut a little V just in at the end so I can get it tagged in. Then where my thread is, I'm going to catch in that little bit at the corner, and just ever so gently I'm stretching this out now, and I want to bring this to the bottom of the tail. Now I think that's just about it. I'm going to just lift up to check. Yeah, looks good. So now I can just make sure it's all clamped down, like so. Okay, looking good so far. Still not cut off my tail like an idiot. Perfect. So the dubbing I'm going to use for the body is from Troutline. It's the Mad Rabbit Dubbing Plus, and the plus of this dubbing is they've added a little bit of glinty bling into it, not too much, just the right amount in my humble opinion. And I'm going to dub that on really hard initially, so I'm really laying into it, making it nice and tight, because I want this body to taper up. So I'll just start to add more dubbing to my thread, and I can always take off if I've got excess. So you can start coming up your fly, up the shank of the hook. As you get nearer the top, you want to condense your turns, like so. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm just going to slightly adjust the hook in the vise, and next I'm going to bring up my shell back. Now you want to put a little bit of pressure on so that it does tighten up a little bit. Make sure it doesn't wander round the side by holding it in place. So 2 or 3 turns there, and then 3 turns in front, and you can come in with your snips and remove your excess. Now you can get several flies out of this, so don't discard it. Put it to the side and it's good for the next one. So next, you grab your rat's tail that you've resisted the urge to snip off the whole time you've been tying the fly, and you come up and make segments in your shell back. Now I like to steadily increase the size of the segments as I go. I've not quite got that right. With a big segment at the end. So I've now caught all that in. I'm going to catch my rat's tail with my main thread from the bobbin, and once you've secured it with a couple of turns, you can come in and just make sure you've caught that in. Then the rat's tail you can finally snip off, and that's looking not too bad. Pretty pleased with that. And to finish off, we're going to add a little bit more dubbing, same material, to our thread. Push that up there and then bring it round. Now as I start to run low on the dubbing, I want to have, and I didn't leave myself enough actually, so I'm just adding about a centimetre or so. I'm going to pull it all back now and get a few wraps in front of my CDC. Again, you can finish this off with a little touch of super glue onto the thread, or you can use varnish or even UV resin if you were of a mind to. I just used a little bit of super glue, and then get your whip finish tool out if you've got one, or you can put a half hitch in. Now strangely enough, I have got a whip finish tool and I've been working away at this, so I'm going to give it a go. I put a half hitch in just to see, but I want to see if I can do this. I have been practicing, so I've got it now, like so. And I think that is a whip finish. I'm never quite sure, but I've kind of been practicing that, and it's coming along, but I'm I'm still not 100% sure that it's the best way of doing it. I think a half hitch is a bit quicker. But there we go, it's up to you. If you can use a whip finish and you're happy doing it, do it. If you want to just put a half hitch in, do that. Whatever works for you. I'm not here to tell you exactly how you should be doing your business. But if Terry Bromwell's got one of these in their box, that's good enough for me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, and I'll see you all next time.